49ers faithful. What a day to be part of the red and gold family. The Niners are back on the winning side after a massive victory over the New York Giants, and man, this one couldn't have come at a better time. Just imagine if they had dropped this game. We'd be sitting at 5-4 right now, and that would have completely changed the energy around this team. But no, they stepped up, they played with fire, and now the Niners sit at 6-3, keeping their NFC dreams alive while the entire conference is wide open for the taking. You can feel it in the air. This team still has fight, and they showed it today. The offense, let's start there because it looked alive again. 34 points on the board, easily one of the best offensive performances of the entire season. It felt like the Niners rediscovered who they are, a balanced, physical, relentless offense that can beat you in the air or on the ground. And that's exactly what they did. Jones led the charge, throwing for 221 yards, distributing the ball like a true field general. The Niners racked up 380 total yards, ran the ball for $159, and averaged nearly 6 yards per play. That's dominance, pure and simple. But what made it even more satisfying is how they responded after last week's mess. This was a team embarrassed by that Houston loss, and Kyle Shanahan said it himself. They wanted to get that bad taste out of their mouths. And boy, did they ever. The energy was different, the focus was different, and the execution looked like vintage Niners football. Now, there's a dark cloud hanging over this win. Mike Williams went down with a knee injury, and it didn't look good. You could see the frustration on his face as he came off the field, and it's just heartbreaking. This team has already battled so many injuries along the defensive line. Nick Bosa, out. Gross Matos, out. Bryce Huff still nursing that hamstring. And now, potentially losing Williams with what looks like a torn ACL? It's brutal. That's why John Lynch has to make a move before the deadline. You can't keep losing edge rushers and expect this defense to hold up. There are rumors floating around that the Bengals are open to trading Trey Hendrickson. And if that's true, you go get that man. That's exactly the kind of aggressive move that could give this team the push it needs down the stretch. But setting that aside for a moment, this game was a reminder of what the Niners can be when they play their brand of football. From the first whistle, it felt like Kyle Shanahan came in with a clear plan, pound the ball, control the trenches, and impose their will. And that's exactly what happened. Christian McCaffrey, what else can you say about this dude? He continues to be the heartbeat of this offense. 28 carries for 106 yards and a touchdown on the ground, plus another 67 receiving yards through the air. He just finds ways to produce, no matter how teams try to contain him. But he wasn't alone. Brian Robinson brought that pure smash-mouth energy we've been missing. He only had 5 carries, but he made them count, going for 53 yards and punching in a touchdown that was straight-up bully ball. 10 yards a carry, breaking tackles, lowering the shoulder. That's the kind of toughness this team thrives on. The plan was clear. Run it right down the Giants' throats. New York came into this game ranked dead last in the NFL against the run, and the Niners exploited that weakness perfectly. 39 rushing attempts, 159 yards, and they stayed committed to the ground game, even when it got tough. That balance kept the Giants' defense guessing and opened up everything else. When the Niners go pass-heavy, they get predictable. When they're balanced, they become unstoppable. You could see Shanahan's fingerprints all over this. Creative play design, smart sequencing, and the confidence to stick with what works. And speaking of confidence, let's talk about Jones. Think about this for a second. 7 starts into his 49ers career, and this guy is 5-2 as the starter. 5-2. When this move happened, nobody saw that coming. People were saying the season was over. But with the coaching from Shanahan, the leadership from Jones, and his willingness to adapt, he's completely flipped the script. He's not just managing the offense, he's commanding it. He's distributing the ball like a point guard, staying poised on third down, and making smart decisions in the red zone. The Niners went 6 of 11 on third downs today and scored on most of their red zone trips. That's efficient football. He's not out there trying to play hero ball. He's executing the system, trusting his weapons, and keeping the chains moving. And look at how many guys he got involved today. 8 different players caught passes, and 9 were targeted. That's classic Shanahan football. Spread the ball, keep everyone involved, and force the defense to cover the entire field. McCaffrey had his usual impact, but guys like Jawan Jennings and Kendrick Bourne stepped up when it mattered most. Jennings had 4 catches for 41 yards and a score. Bourne added a couple of key grabs. And even George Kittle found his groove again with some timely receptions that kept drives alive. You could feel the rhythm coming back into this offense, the chemistry, the timing, everything that was missing last week. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress, and that's exactly what you want to see in November football. Defensively, it was a bend but don't break kind of performance. The Giants had some moments early on, especially that opening drive where they marched down the field like it was nothing. But after that, the Niners' defense settled in. They tightened up on third downs, held the Giants to under 300 total yards, and made key plays when it mattered. It's clear they're still trying to find their identity with all these injuries, but there were flashes of that old Niners intensity. Guys like Tatum Mathune, who racked up 16 tackles, and Upton Stout, who made some big stops, showed heart out there. And the pass rush, while still missing some pieces, managed to get home twice with sacks from Sam Okawano and Clelin Ferrell. That's the kind of complementary football the Niners need to build on. The offense putting up points, the defense bending but refusing to break, and special teams adding that extra spark. And let's not forget how Shanahan schemed this one. He knew this was a must-win game. He knew his team's pride was on the line after what happened in Houston. You could see it in the play calling, aggressive, calculated, and fearless. He wanted to send a message to his locker room and the rest of the league that the Niners aren't going anywhere. That cross-country flight back to the Bay, it's going to be a lot lighter after this win. You could feel the relief on the sidelines, the celebration, the energy of a team that knows it's still in the fight. This wasn't just another regular season win. This was about restoring belief, about proving that even with adversity, injuries, and pressure mounting, this team can still rise. 6-3 feels a whole lot better than 5-4, and the Niners earned every bit of it. But make no mistake, the work's not done, not even close. The deadline is coming fast, and this team has decisions to make. If John Lynch wants to keep this momentum alive, it's time to get aggressive again, time to add that missing piece to a defense that's still fighting through chaos. Because with the NFC wide open and this offense starting to click, the 49ers are right back in the mix where they belong. When you think about what defines a true team, it's not just talent. It's not even just execution. It's about how players respond to adversity, how they carry themselves when things don't go their way. And for Jaire Alexander, that has always been the part of his game that speaks the loudest. His swagger, his passion, his ability to make plays when the lights are brightest. Those are the traits that made him a star in Green Bay and now make him such a fascinating addition to the Ravens. But what makes this story even more intriguing is how the Ravens have been preparing for this exact kind of addition. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment trade. This was something that had been quietly brewing in the background, a move designed to reinforce the one thing Baltimore values most: toughness on defense. When the front office saw a chance to bring in a proven lockdown corner who plays with the kind of confidence that defines their culture, they didn't hesitate. Now, with Jaire in the building, the defense instantly looks more complete. You can feel it. You can almost sense the excitement around the facility. Players have talked about it. Coaches have hinted at it. This move isn't just about upgrading a position. It's about raising the standard. Think about what it means for younger players in the secondary. To line up next to someone like Alexander, to watch the way he studies film, the way he reads a quarterback's eyes, the way he stays glued to his man no matter what. That's invaluable. And it's exactly the type of presence that can turn a good defense into a great one. What's even more powerful is how the message from the coaching staff has remained consistent through all of this: respect, discipline, and brotherhood. The Ravens don't just want stars. They want competitors who buy into the system, who are willing to bleed for the team. That's why the farewell message from one of the coaches to Alexander hit so hard. It wasn't just a goodbye. It was a reminder that football at its core is about connection. It's about the bonds players form through battles, through sweat, through heartbreak. When a coach looks a player in the eye and tells him, "You'll always be part of us," it's not just words. It's a reflection of what the sport truly represents. And for Jaire, that kind of message clearly struck a chord. He's always been an emotional player, someone who thrives on energy and feeds off momentum. You could tell that leaving Green Bay wasn't easy. That city embraced him, and he gave everything he had in return. But sometimes, change is exactly what a player needs to reignite the fire. Baltimore offers him a chance to prove something new, to show that he can elevate another franchise, that he can be the missing piece that pushes them from contenders to champions. And you can already tell that he's coming in with that mindset. No ego, no excuses, just determination. What's crazy is how well he fits the personality of this team. The Ravens have always been about grit. From Ray Lewis to Ed Reed to Terrell Suggs, this franchise was built on attitude and resilience. Jaire Alexander steps into that lineage perfectly. He's got that same spark, that same chip on his shoulder, that same relentless hunger to dominate. You can already picture him out there on Sundays, locking down the top receivers in the league, hyping up the crowd, and celebrating every defensive stop with that trademark swagger. It's going to be electric. And speaking of energy, the Ravens fan base has been buzzing ever since the news broke. Social media exploded, players were posting reactions, analysts were calling it one of the most impactful trades of the season. Because let's be honest, adding someone of Jaire's caliber doesn't just change how you play defense. It changes how teams play against you. Quarterbacks will think twice before throwing to his side. Offensive coordinators will have to rework their entire game plans. That's how much respect this guy commands. He doesn't just defend passes, he erases options. What's even better is how he's already connecting with his new teammates. There were reports of him staying late after practice, working on timing with safeties, discussing coverage adjustments, and even studying film on upcoming opponents. That's leadership right there. He's not waiting to earn respect. He's earning it through effort. And that's exactly the kind of mentality that Baltimore feeds on. When one guy shows that kind of commitment, it becomes contagious. Everyone around him steps up. That's how championship cultures are built. Not through talent alone, but through accountability. And if you know the Ravens locker room, you know this is a place where accountability is everything. Coaches push players, veterans mentor rookies, and every mistake becomes a lesson. Jaire fits that mold perfectly. He's confident, but he's also coachable. He brings intensity, but he knows how to channel it productively. He's a competitor, but above all, he's a teammate. And that balance between fire and focus is what separates great players from merely good ones. Now, as the season moves forward, the excitement around Baltimore isn't just about what Jaire can do individually. It's about how he elevates everyone around him. You can see it in the way the defense communicates, the way the energy on the field feels more synchronized. It's not just about coverage schemes or blitz packages. It's about trust. Every great defense is built on trust, and with Alexander joining the mix, that trust feels even stronger. At the end of the day, this move isn't just a headline. It's a statement. The Ravens are all in. They're not settling for mediocrity, not content with just making the playoffs. They're building something bigger. And Jaire Alexander, with all his swagger, skill, and spirit, is going to be right at the center of it. The future in Baltimore just got a whole lot brighter. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. San Francisco is buzzing with speculation after an explosive statement reportedly made by 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan. Sources claim that Shanahan, visibly frustrated during a team meeting, shouted at one of his players, "You're not playing with me anymore." While the identity of the player remains unconfirmed, insiders suggest that tensions within the locker room have been simmering for weeks, hinting at an unraveling relationship that could shake the team's dynamics. Shanahan, known for his fiery coaching style and meticulous attention to detail, has rarely publicly clashed with players in such a blunt manner. Yet, this latest outburst raises questions about the stability of the 49ers roster, especially at a time when cohesion is critical. Rumors swirl that the incident followed a series of missed assignments on the field, fueling speculation that Shanahan might be preparing to bench or even trade a prominent player in the coming weeks. Fans and analysts alike are dissecting every word, trying to determine whether this is a temporary flare-up or a signal of a deeper fracture in the team's strategy. Social media is already ablaze with speculation, with some suggesting that the player in question has been underperforming, while others wonder if this could be the start of a dramatic mid-season shakeup. Former players and insiders note that Shanahan's outbursts, while rare, often precede major roster moves. The timing of the statement also adds fuel to the rumor mill. Coming just after a string of high-stakes games, it hints at mounting pressure on both the coaching staff and the athletes to deliver. While the 49ers have not officially commented, whispers suggest that discussions behind closed doors could lead to surprising outcomes, from internal suspensions to unexpected trades. As the league watches closely, the only certainty is that San Francisco is entering a period of heightened drama. Whether this clash will resolve quietly or erupt into a full-blown scandal remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. Kyle Shanahan's declaration has set tongues wagging, and the next few weeks could redefine the future of the 49ers in ways fans can hardly imagine. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.